Hey everyone, what's up? It's Madison. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I know it's been a little while since we have popped in here, but I'm just gonna be flying solo for this one. Today, I'm gonna be talking about having nystagmus. So let's get into it. A lot of people who have been watching our videos have probably noticed and have respectfully refrained from not asking about why my eyes move around so much. The reason for this is because it is a secondary part of my visual impairment. Nystagmus is basically a fancy term for involuntary movement. In this case, I have it in my eyes. Joshua has it as well, but it's not as bad for him and it's not as severe. The cause for it, I honestly don't know. It's either like a secondary condition of something else, or it just kind of happens naturally, or it could also be something genetic. I was diagnosed at birth. My condition is called optic nerve hypoplasia. Basically, it's just a fancy way of saying that I have an underdeveloped optic nerve. Like I have to work a little harder to see things because information is like being crammed into my little tiny optic nerve. And so as a result of that, the nystagmus. Lots of people have asked me if this is fixable. And the answer is yes and no. There has been some research and there has been cases where corrective surgery does work. But since everyone's eyes are different, it's really hard to narrow down the possibilities of whether it could work for me or not. So I don't really know why my parents chose not to go into corrective surgery, or even if that was an option for me back when I was a baby. But I think that Filipino guy in the Black Eyed Peas, he had nystagmus and he got it corrected. I think it was like a really mild form of the condition. There are some things that do make it worse. The biggest thing that makes it worse is eye fatigue. So like I said, my eyes are working twice as hard, and if I'm tired, then my eyes will be moving around twice as much. And because of that, I will be physically drained. Sometimes my eye fatigue can get so bad, it'll affect the rest of my body. There have been times where I've dropped things, there have been times where I have tripped over things, and that has all been because of eye fatigue. The second thing that makes it worse is anxiety. This will play into a story that I'd like to share with you later on in the video. I don't know why, but my nystagmus will speed up. My eyes will just move around all crazy. It's so weird. Once I calm myself down, I'll be able to stabilize my eyes a little bit more. I think another cause that might make it worse is inebriation. If any friends have witnessed this, let me know. Do my eyes move around more if I'm drunk? Living with nystagmus was actually not that big of a deal to me. As a kid, I was known as the girl who was blind, but I think that kids are a lot more judgmental when they're younger because they don't really know any better. I mean, they would ask me what's wrong with my eyes, why do you have a lazy eye, why do they keep moving around like that? I would tell them, and then we would go play. No biggie. When it came to picture day though, that's when I would be the most aware about it. So a couple weeks before, or maybe even a month before, the teacher would hand out these envelopes that basically sampled all of the options you could get your pictures in. At the very bottom and like the very last page of that little envelope is a little comment strip. And that is where my parents would write something like, my daughter has nystagmus, where she has involuntary eye movement. Here's what we want to do to make the pictures look the most aligned. My photographer would pose me or whatever, and then he would have me close my eyes, count to 3, and right on 3, I would open my eyes and he would take the shot so that you could guarantee the most aligned pictures. At first, I didn't really make anything of this. I didn't notice it until maybe like 10, 11 when I actually read what they wrote on the envelope. As I became a teenager, I became a lot more aware of it. Especially in college, I thought that people would judge me for my nystagmus because I couldn't make eye contact with them. And it also became very apparent when I started applying to jobs. I could see a lot of people looking at me directly in the face and like staring me down with this glare. It was the most uncomfortable thing. This actually, speaking of work, reminds me of the story that I wanted to tell you. I got professional headshots done. The photographer noticed my nystagmus like right then and there because, you know, she's a photographer. She does pay attention to those finer details and especially pays attention to the client's face. And it got me so nervous because 1, I had never met this woman before, and 2, I had never had to actually vocalize my own nystagmus and the preferences for my pictures before because my parents had done that for me. So we had talked about what were some of the solutions that we could do to kind of ease the nystagmus. Because one, I'm very nervous in front of the camera, and if you guys remember earlier, when I get nervous, my nystagmus speeds up. So I was so worried about trying to stabilize the nystagmus that my nystagmus got even worse. And then she had to physically tell me to calm down, and she was the one who reminded me of that strategy where I would close my eyes for 3 seconds, and on 3 I would open them and she would take the shot. So she said I could take your right eye and paste it onto your left to make your eyes look more aligned. Do you want me to do that? And I said yes. I could get a lot of flack for doing this, but if you think about it, it is a professional headshot, and I want it to look as beautiful or as normal as possible. You could see that she was contemplating this for a bit, and she ended up sending the headshots my way. I picked the one that I liked the most, and when I look at it now, my eyes look fairly aligned. Did she Photoshop the picture? I have no idea. Do I want to know if she Photoshopped it? I think I'll go without knowing. But I just thought that I would share my stories with you and just kind of give you some food for thought about living with severe nystagmus, because a lot of people in the blind community have it. And it's interesting to get people's take on what it means to be beautiful as a woman with a disability, and also just kind of accepting yourself for how you are, how you choose to deal with that. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. That concludes this little ranty video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to stick around by subscribing and like the video to let us know that you liked it. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to learn more about blindness or would like to check out more of our videos, check out the links in the description down below. We'll see you in the next one.